Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is the ARCO Fort Bend's Parent Education and Support Group meeting. We meet on Zoom. And my name is Carrie Axtell. I'm the Advocacy and Youth Programs Director. As you can see, we meet virtually on a Thursday each month throughout the school year. And we gather together to learn about some of the great programs and resources available here in our community. We welcome everybody to join us and we learn from each other. So thanks for being here and being a part of the conversation. If you'd like to share your own experiences or helpful information, we certainly appreciate that. We usually stay online after we stop the recording to chat if you'd like. But this support group is a project of the ARC of Fort Bend County, which is a nonprofit organization. We were established in 1968 for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We're also a chapter of the larger ARC of Texas and the ARC of US. We ensure opportunities for people with IDD and their families to maximize their quality of life within our community. And we do that through disability rights advocacy for and with people with IDD. And we also provide information about community services and resources. We organize resource fairs and support groups for parents, as well as our teen and adult siblings, since they're going to be future caregivers for their loved one. And we also hold several social and recreational programs with people with IDD and who are in their teens, 20s, into mature adulthood. So we're also home to the largest Special Olympics delegation for adults here in our region. And we offer 11 different sports and we have over 130 athletes now. So it's a real fun group that we have over here at the ARC of Fort Bend. If you'd like to learn more about us and what we do here at the ARC of Fort Bend County, you can visit our website, arcoffortbend.org, and also check out our Instagram and Facebook page. That's how we share a lot of our information is social media. And you can also reach out to me. I've put my contact information there in the chat box. But if you have any questions during the presentation, while you think of it, if you want to put it in the chat box, or at the end of the presentation, if you'd like to, unmute and ask Arden, our speaker, about the programs, you're welcome to do that as well. But this month, we're very pleased to welcome Arden Stone. She's the co-founder and CEO of Three Graces Texas. And Arden has worked in the nonprofit field for over 25 years, and with more than half of those being dedicated to the IDD community. Right out of college, she worked with an organization specializing in assisting foster parents of special needs children with resources and specialized care needs. Shortly after her youngest son was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, she went to work for Best Buddies in Texas. There she managed the greater Houston, Galveston area and Central Texas offices before moving on to work for their regional and national offices. At the end of 2021, along with an outpouring of support from the greater Houston community, Arden formed Three Graces Texas. The idea behind the organization was to fill the gaps left by the Texas education system and those not addressed by other organizations working on behalf of the IDD community. Well, we welcome you, Arden. Thank you so much for being here and sharing about Three Graces.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today. So like Carrie said, let me see if I can get this to, oh, there we go. So like Carrie said, I actually founded Three Graces at the end of 2021 after meeting a lot with the public. I founded with my sister, Kimberly Bush, and it was really to fill in those gaps. We spent a lot of time talking with people in the public, local companies, parents, and really just trying to find those areas that were not being addressed. The idea was not to recreate the wheel. We really were looking to fill in the gaps. And, what we came across was that we wanted to build that better support. And the three areas that we really came to focus in were that we knew we needed to create opportunities of awareness and acceptance on an educational level, just with teachers and students. And so we created the K-12 inclusion program. We realized that we needed to fill in that educational and training gap of young adults after they leave high school that are looking for those integrated employment opportunities. And so we created an inclusive education program. And then we wanted to create stronger and more inclusive companies across Texas that were openly hiring people with IDD. And then that's what we came up with the Corporate Connections program. So we always ask people, to think about what was it that you loved about school? Maybe you really just liked hanging out with your friends. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a daughter that's all she cared about when she went to school was seeing her friends. Maybe it was, going to the library. Maybe that was your opportunity to really have access to all of those books. Maybe it was the school parties, maybe it was recess and PE. I have another one that's all they care about and want to talk to me about is recess and PE. Or maybe it really was the learning aspect, English, history, math, those opportunities that you had. The same thing with your career. Now that you're in a career, what is it that you love about your career? Is it being able to see your work friends? Is it that earning a paycheck? Is it just making a difference out in the world and having those opportunities? Um, or or maybe you're just really good at your job and that's and that's what you need. Um, but for people with IDD, getting up and going to school every day, being excited to learn, to see friends, go to PE is much harder. And opportunities of integrated employment for people with IDD is difficult. We look at the statistics of 84% of people with IDD are not employed, and that is a huge number. Um, we ask, how would you feel if it was hard to make friends because everyone thought you were different? If it was, hard to participate in recess because, you couldn't move or run like the other kids. If everyone else your age was invited to birthday parties, you weren't invited to, and the same thing with, if it was hard to find a job because people thought you were incapable because you had a disability. If those opportunities to get training and education to allow you to get a good career were not readily available to you. And what we find is, the isolation, the loneliness, being misunderstood, and in many cases, just feeling useless because you're different. And so that's why we came up with Three Graces. We are a nonprofit and we are aimed at improving the lives of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities by building strong foundations through education, corporate accountability, and workforce diversity. Our vision for the future of Texas as a state is really to create opportunities of inclusion, to come together through our education systems, corporate accountability, community involvement, and create an inclusive state. And our vision as an organization is to eliminate that negative stigma and discrimination of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities through awareness, acceptance, and inclusion. And we do this through the three programs: K-12 Inclusion Program, Integrated Education, and Corporate Connections. So I'm first just going to talk about the K-12 Inclusion Program. Through the K-12 Inclusion Program, we work with public and private schools across the greater Houston-Galveston area. We have an application process, and our board selects schools to work with on a one-to-one basis throughout the school year to create a more inclusive campus for students with IDD. Together with the school staff and administrators, we create a 6-month program unique to each school. The school will be able to select one training and one activity for each month of the program. All trainings and activities are arranged, conducted, and paid for by Three Graces. And at the end of that 6-month program, Three Graces provides each school a grant to continue their efforts of inclusion on campus. So our trainings can include anything from, we work with staff and students and parents. It is how the school wants to design their program. And they cover anything from the history of the disability movement, disability awareness, models of disability, engaging the diversity, and many others. They're all designed and utilized with staff and students. We do people first versus identity first language training, communication for inclusion, impact and identity terminology. And then we also do things like integrated physical education, bullying prevention, and defining inclusion for staff, communication of inclusion for staff, and students teaching students about disabilities. We don't stop at just the training and staff. Like I said, we also do inclusive activities. Each school picks one training and one activity per month. And the idea is to bring in all the students together to create that awareness and that acceptance and that inclusion. So each school has the opportunity to select 6 different activities to go on throughout the year. And like I said, 3 graces, plans, and pays for any costs associated with those. And it's all in what the school thinks is going to suit their needs for what they are trying to accomplish in that school year. So we've done is hosting inclusion weeks at the school, which involves many activities with different classrooms. And some schools also choose to spend a few days a month with students from other classes, welcoming SPED students through a lesson plan. Oh, sorry, wrong one. So we do have those lesson plans also that we can do, like if there's specific classrooms that want to work on specific things, we can go through that and provide teachers with lesson plans. And that can be, treasure hunts, inclusion and gratitude, art projects, essay writing, respectful language activities, whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish within that classroom. Outside the classroom, we also can work with them on opportunities for integrated PE, recess, sports days, music classes, and even on-campus clubs. One of our schools, actually, we worked with them to do a book drive to diversify their library. That is a huge thing. We are actually in the process of working with a couple of rodeo contacts too, and one of their committees that does a huge book drive to making sure that some of those books are disability awareness. There's a lot of books out there that are age appropriate, and so we just want to make sure that those books are also being included when someone is building out their library at the school. And then, like I said, after 6 months of the trainings and activities, and any other assistance that the school is looking for from Three Graces, then the school is certified as an inclusive campus by Three Graces, and we award them with a $1,000 grant that they can utilize to continue their inclusion efforts. We do ask that they work closely with their SPED teachers to see if there's any necessities inside the SPED classroom. And then outside the K-12 program, we have 2 other programs that we work with different age levels. So our next one is our Inclusive Scholarship Program. This program has grown really, really fast. It has quickly become one of the favorites of our programs. So with the Inclusive Scholarship Program, Three Graces provides funding for students with IDD to pursue college programs, technical training, or any type of continued education that will further their options for integrated employment. We also work alongside inclusive companies to provide career training, sharpen job interview skills, resume writing. And then for those post-high school students who are unable to pursue continued education, we work with the community to provide funding for other opportunities such as summer camps and day camps that will provide them with opportunities to socialize. And then here lately, we've also been expanding to include post-high school life skills training. Like I said, we work with local colleges, technical schools, and companies with career training courses to find the best placements for our participants. We assist the participants by providing financial assistance to those participants to pursue these opportunities. We also partner up with different companies and host career days. These serve several different purposes. One, to introduce those participants to other career opportunities. For example, one of the ideas or one of the situations that we have done is partnered up with like Sugarland Space Cowboys. And we'll have a career day where we will invite participants to come out, tour those facilities, and then they will be allowed to ask questions about all the different job opportunities within their facilities. And those include everything from office jobs to, working within the stands or working specifically with the baseball player on the field. So we are able to introduce them to different opportunities that there are. And then we go over like, what are the requirements to have those positions? Do they have to have career training post high school? Is it something that they can learn on the job? Just to try to open up, those horizons and make them realize that there are those opportunities out there. Other things that we do is we host mock interviews to help them get ready for that and help them build out their resume writing. Like I said, for those students who are unable to pursue that continued education, that's just not going to be a path for them. We work with the community and their family to come up with a plan. And whether that's continuing to work on continued life skills training, or it's summer camps and day camps to keep that socialization going with their child. We do not stop with this program with just doing the scholarships. We go a step further and we work with campuses to create an inclusive activities for the peers to participate in on campus and bring life to the idea of awareness and acceptance and inclusion on their campus. Um, we also host happy hour events with them so that they can get to have opportunities to network throughout the year and meet other people that are out in the business world. We also offer what we call ambassador training to all of our scholarship program participants, and we really work with them to teach them how to um, advocate for themselves, but also how to talk about their path and how they've come so far, what the path was that they took, what the scholarship meant to them, and really kind of be that mentor for those that are coming up behind them in the system. Similar to the K-12 program, we have the Corporate Connections program. And this program works one-on-one with local businesses to create that inclusive workplace through staff trainings and activities. We partner with these companies. Like I said, it works similarly to the K-12 program. However, with companies, it is a 10-month program. We work to educate and engage their staff in a program of inclusion designed specifically for their company. By educating that company staff, we open up the lines of communication between upper management and staff when it comes to IDD. We work with these companies on supporting staff with children with IDD, changing their company culture to support the hiring of people with IDD, and working within the communities where they do business to make sure it is inclusive to people with IDD. This program is a lot of fun. A lot of the companies that we work with actually work with us with our scholarship program as well. So they will have employees that will volunteer to do the resume writing with our participants. They will have their employees that will come in and do mock interviews with our participants. So it really kind of opens up that environment. And the key to this program is really to prepare these companies and get them ready to be at a place where they can hire somebody with IDD. You know, those are our three programs. Like I said, if you're looking to get more involved, we are always looking for volunteers to help plan, awareness events or become part of what some of our programs that are working within the schools. We do activities with our participants. We have fundraising events that are a lot of fun, actually, just to come out and have and to meet some of our participants. So we're always looking for any kind of, help. And that could be even contacts, like contacts within your school, contacts within the community. I always tell people we are one of the good things about being a smaller organization is that we are always changing. So when we come across someone who says, oh, I am looking for this and not this, that's when we start changing and saying, okay, we can include that. And just as an example, our scholarship program started out specifically just for scholarships to assist people with IDD to take that next step. And then we quickly came across parents that were like, well, my child is not going to be in that situation, but I would love to send them, to camp in the summertime or, that. So we said, you know what, then we will expand this program and add that. In the fall, we came across some parents that were really just looking for opportunities beyond high school to help their child with life skills training. And so we expanded this program to include that. So that's what I really have enjoyed about this is coming across those opportunities where we can just expand and allow to fill in more gaps that we see. especially even with the K-12 program, it is a 6-month program, but we have several schools that have reached out and we have just done one-off trainings with them. They've asked us to come in and do bully prevention training, or they've asked us to come in and do some disability awareness training with their staff. We've done some people first versus identity first language training with some rodeo committees. So just trying to open up those doors and get in front of people and let them know like the resources are here. So let's utilize them and get it out there. And that's all I have today. Unless there's questions, I kind of went through everything really fast. So
Oh, that's amazing. No, there's so much. There's so much to
yeah.
talk about and unpack too. So one of the great questions, so Melody asked, she says she loves the K through 12 inclusion program. She'd love for her son's elementary school to get involved. So how would she go about finding information to come to present to the school or contacts? Like, how does that work?
It can work several ways. You can go to the school first and ask them if it's something they're interested in. We do have a specific PowerPoint just for the K-12 program. We also have a program packet that kind of goes through how the program works. Or you can also just get a contact of somebody who's interested, and I can speak with them and say, listen, like we have people at your school that are interested in this program. It is very unique to each campus, and that's the one thing that we really drive home. It is not a set in stone, these are the trainings you have to do, and this is the activities you have to do. We have a huge list where we sit down with, administrators, and we always like to include, if it's a parent that brought us to that school, we always like to include that parent in that process as well, and the SPED teachers that are on campus. To really address what it is, what the needs are and what they're trying to do. I've found through my work over many, many years, there's lots of programs that come into schools and they do certain things, but what we are really trying to do is, start early and start that awareness. I always tell people, I remember I have 5 kids and my youngest is on the spectrum. And so I know what it was like to go through the system with all my older kids. And then when my youngest came through, because he was integrated in the classroom, there wasn't a lot of discussion about anything. I started noticing more and more that some kids just kind of treated him like, oh, that kid's a little weird. And so it really kind of jump started me to come into classrooms and started, talking to them about disability awareness, and let's be aware, like we're not all the same. So, just kind of opening up those doors and making, them aware of that. And that's how the K-12 program really kind of came to be. But it really is like, if you have somebody at the campus you want to talk to, and whether it is your child's teacher, and say, hey, like we would really like to talk about this, and I can send you a packet to even go through that with them, or that they can have to like look at how the program works. And then we can set up meetings from there.
All right. So whatever you'd like to share that you're okay with me sharing out with to everybody who registered,
Yeah.
just include that with the copy of the PowerPoint, and then yeah, we'll get you all connected. I have a friend of mine who's an art teacher, and I know she's, just talks to me about the influx of students, and more and more, of course, students being identified, as having a disability, and the campus trying to respond to that and meet everybody's needs. And then at the same time, the state of public education right now being overwhelmed and underfunded. And so there's so many dynamics going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Cindy had a great question as well. Go ahead, Cindy. She was asking if the organization offers respite hours, but if you'd like to go ahead and unmute, you can, if you want to ask, or if that's your question.
Yes, hi. Can you ladies hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. I don't know if I was supposed to be seen on the camera, but I don't see myself that you guys are able to see me. I don't know what
I
to
can
do.
see you.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. Messy here today, but okay. So yes, the question was about respite hours. Do you guys offer respite hours?
We don't. And that's actually, you're the second person that's asked me that in a week. It has come up. I had somebody else, there's a huge conference happening this summer with IDD parents, which you know what, Carrie, I might send you that contact information as well, because I think that your parents would be interested in learning about that. And they were asking me as well. I know that Easter Seals does. And then
Yes.
I was when I was working with some people with the conference, we were coming across a couple of names. So I've been kind of gathering some of those names just to have as a resource for people as well.
Okay.
Which the ones that I gather, I can also send Carrie with the information. And I definitely, it's something that I will probably start adding to the website. We have a resource page on our website as well, where we list out, books and movies and camps and scholarships, other scholarships besides ours. Like, so we try to, like, as many resources as we come across, we try to put that out there for other parents and stuff to be able to just get on there and look up. And we get sent stuff every day from different companies and different businesses, and on, hey, we work in this community as well, could you share this? So but it is something that's come up in the last couple of weeks. So the ones I've come across, I will share with Carrie when I send the information over, because I believe there's a couple of groups that do it. I
Yeah,
just know the only one I was aware of was Easter Seals.
yeah, that would be great. I'm always looking for good resources too. So I don't know if, Cindy, if your child happens to be between the ages of 11 to 18, but the Arc of Fort Bend, we do have a teen social. So it's a
Okay.
social skills building opportunity for our teens. It's held on the first Friday of the month throughout the school year. And the application for that is on the arcoffortbend.org website. So, but it is basically teens are matched with another neurotypical teen peer in order to kind of, again, gain those social skills and opportunity to have fun and socialize and play games. And sometimes they play dodgeball. Sometimes they just want to be more quiet. A lot of the girls are more quiet and want to just color or do something quiet like that. But it's really
Okay.
just whatever they want to do. So,
I would like to attend that one, for sure. Yeah. Well, Joshua is, he's 12.
oh, okay, yes. So that's
Yeah.
perfect
Okay.
age.
Okay. And where do you say I can get the calendar and all that?
So it's on our arcoffortbend.org website.
Okay.
And if you go under programs, youth programs, teen, tween, social, and parent night out, and it'll take you right to the application. Our next event is on Friday, March the 1st.
Okay. Okay. I'll look
Yeah,
into
we'd
that.
love
So
to,
Arc
love
of
to
Fort
see.
Bend, right? The Arc of Fort Bend?
Yes, arcoffortbend.org.
.org. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome. And then also, and I know we've got some more questions. I'm looking here in the chat. And then I know River Point Church also has their iFit program. Melody, thank you for reminding about that. And they have a monthly gathering. Sometimes it's movies, games, etc. And it's at their RPC, their River Point Church Richmond campus. It's right there, right off 59. It's like a big church. You see it kind of if you're driving south on 59, you'll see it off to your left, or sorry, to your right. But so check out River Point Church as well. Sometimes if different faith-based organizations have some great programs. If your child happens to have autism, also check with Hope for Three is another great organization.
He does.
Um,
Yes.
okay, good deal. So I'm glad you're connected with them as well. So let me see some other great questions here. Is there a sample letter that a parent can share with the school? So I guess Arden, you'll send all those materials to me.
Yes, I will.
Okay, so sample letters, the PowerPoint, all of that good information. Arden is going to share that with me. And then once we have this video all wrapped up, I will share everybody who registered, because sometimes we have people register and they're not able to attend the live event. So I will share that out with everybody who registered, and you'll have those attachments in your email. Hopefully by later on this afternoon, we'll be able to wrap all that up for you. Another great question is, Felix asked, does your organization charge a fee for your services? And if not, just curious, how do you raise your funding? You mentioned fundraisers, but what are your funding sources?
So we do not charge for our services, and that's a huge thing. Like you said, the education system in Texas is so taxed, and You know, I feel like sometimes the first thing they pull from is special education. So we make sure that anything that is any costs that are associated, we pick up as an organization. A lot of our speakers that might come out to the school and do some of the trainings, a lot of them donate their time. And then we work with different companies on grants and fundraisers. We get grants from different foundations and different companies. We just went into a huge partnership with Centerpoint Energy, who gave us a very large grant for the scholarship program. So, and then we have a few fundraisers during the year that help us to pay for any costs associated with the K-12 programs. And then when we partner with different companies to come in and do those programs, after they've kind of gone through the program and as they're going through the process, we ask as part of their program, we ask them to donate to the grant fund for our K through 12 schools.
Very good. Excellent questions, guys. I had a question about, so you mentioned life skills training. So perhaps there's a parent out there who has their child is getting ready for that transition from high school to young adult life. And there's a couple different aspects that you shared, like from either, you know, like you're saying, so training for young adults, maybe it's vocational related, but maybe it's not vocational related. So what are some of the trainings that you all offer for those students?
So our organization doesn't actually do the trainings. We will work with outside facilities to get those, to find out what those trainings are and to work with those. But if they need assistance, so what we do through the scholarship program is if they need assistance paying for those programs, then we help pay for those programs. And that's just, that is probably the most recent one that we've added on, because we had a couple of parents that kind of approached us and said, like, going that vocational route is not going to be conducive for their child, but they would like a little bit more, that young adult life skills training. Like now they're in that, reaching that young adult stage, and they're coming out of high school, but they still need a little bit more. And so we work with other organizations and different companies that provide those life skills trainings to find out like what those costs are and how we can assist those parents in getting that. And that's just kind of to open up that stage for them. It was something that we had not really thought of before, being in that post high school, now what? And that's really kind of why we opened up even the opportunities to pay for, to offer those scholarships for the camps, like the summer camps and the day camps and stuff like that, to open up that socialization and give them those opportunities if they're not going to go the vocational route. And then we added in those like once a quarter, doing those like networking meetups and those really, it's really just to give them that socialization, the same thing, like give them those opportunities to get out. And it might be, at a baseball game, and it might be, so just trying to give them those opportunities to kind of get out and socialize a little bit more.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, for the students, then would the parents just contact you to apply for that? I guess
Yes.
they already have.
And that application is up
programs.
that application is up online all the time, under the scholarship program. And they just fill it out and email it in, and then our board reviews those usually monthly at the meetings. They review those.
Okay, so it's an ongoing, then it doesn't have to, you
It is
don't have to
definitely
meet.
ongoing. No, it's not, there's not a time limit on that. It is ongoing, and it's just because the program's kind of opened up to so many different kinds of opportunities now that it's just, we just leave it up year round now.
Okay. Now, so some of the programs out there that a parent might come across through either vocational rehabilitation or, so some of those programs might be paid for through Voc Rehab or whatnot. So the
Mhm.
programs you're talking about then are those ones that maybe won't be paid for through some other funding source, right?
Right. Mhm.
All right. So yeah, because I definitely want parents to know that if they have those other resources available too. So it's great to try to exhaust those other
Yeah.
government or state programs first,
Yeah.
and then you all would kind of come in to help meet that gap.
Yep.
Awesome. And Melody shared another great resource for I guess like a respite night. It's called Autism Meets Faith. And that they have gatherings there in off of Veterans Memorial Drive in Houston. And their next gathering is this weekend, February 10th at 6:30 p.m. So she's got the contact information there for Holly and it's autismmeetsfaith.org. And so thank you for sharing this resource. So this is why we get together, guys, because together we share a lot of great information that we all have that we can help benefit each other. Cindy also says to qualify for any program, for example, like a campus, is it qualified based on parents' income?
No,
So
It is
not income restricted, or
no, we don't
Just-
ask any questions about income.
go to the website, fill out the application, and post, I guess, in the application, what the specific need is, why, I mean, what all.
Yeah, it kind of goes through and just kind of asks them, you know, what it is, like what they need assistance with and what it is that they are, you know, like what the plan is. It's a little bit, the application is a little bit geared more towards like the vocational, but it doesn't matter if the question doesn't reply because you're looking for, you know, assistance with a camp or you're looking assistance for something else, then you can just put it in there. It's not, it's pretty general, the application. But yeah, we do not ask questions about income. And that was really a decision by our board. And I feel like, you know, I think that a lot of, I feel like a lot of this population kind of gets lost when those questions start getting asked, you know, oh, what's the income of the parents? And I just, you know, I mean, to me, I just think that it shouldn't matter because I think that there's just so much that comes along with being the parent of a child with IDD, and so much cost that comes along with that. And what I've come across is a lot of these applications, they don't ask you all that. You know, they don't ask you like, well, what else are you paying for? So I just kind of think you know, that kind of gets, it muddies the waters, I think, too much. And that's just not what we're here for. We're trying to make sure that they have all the opportunities that we can put in front of them.
Very good. Okay, so it sounds like the best place to go. So is it just 3graces.org?
It's 3-graces.org. Yeah, there's a dash in.
3-graces.org. And
Yeah,
then
I put it up there. I've got it at the bottom of the screen now.
there it is. So
Yeah.
3 spelled out, not the numeral, but the
Yeah.
word spelled out, -graces.org. And so visit the website, check out, see the different applications, think about maybe what your child's needs are. If you happen to work for an organization, corporation, business, somebody that you think would like to either partner with 3Graces from their corporate partnership program, or take part in the training and be part of that inclusive environment, like Arden was saying, it's really important because it's all these different areas throughout our lives that we encounter each other. And so the more understanding and acceptance that we have in all these different areas throughout our lives, from home, community, you know, employment, school, out the grocery store, you know, wherever you go, the more of us that kind of have this understanding, the better quality of life we'll all have.
Mhm. I 100% believe that. I think that, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, I mean, I said I couldn't imagine my life without my son in it now, and just like how it's kind of like changed. But it's even like as a parent and as somebody who works in this field, it's really, I think, even changed my perspective on how I view the world, like when I see the world through him. And you know, I think to myself, you know, maybe we're the ones that, you know, maybe they're the neurotypical ones and we're the ones that aren't. Like, I mean, sometimes just
Right.
you know, like the life and just the, you know, and the joy and everything that kind of comes in that situation. I just feel like I said, you know, sometimes I just have to ask myself, maybe it's us that's not, you know. So
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm also putting in the chat real quick, but I'll share it when I send out the email to everybody as well. But I just connected the link to arcafortbend.org, our Teen Tween Respite Night. So we definitely would love to welcome if you know of a Fort Bend County child who has an intellectual or developmental disability between the ages of 11 to 18, who needs those social skills opportunities. So our program is it's not therapeutic. It really is just an opportunity to be with neurotypical peers in a non-school, non-therapeutic environment, and we just have a fun night doing preferred activities. And it's a chance for the parents to take a break. So if you want to learn more about that, I've included the link, and then I'll also include that in the packet that I send out with Arden's great information, the PowerPoint, links to the website, to a sample letter to schools if maybe your child's school wants to participate in that. And all right, well, it doesn't look like we have any other questions right now, but you've got Arden's contact information. You think of something later, please contact her, Arden, ARDEN, at the word 3 spelled out, THREE-graces.org, or visit the website there. And Arden, any wrapping up words that you have for our group?
I mean, no, thank you so much for having me. This was really great. I loved all the questions too.
Yeah, excellent questions, guys.
Yeah, really great questions. I really had a blast being here today. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.